Hi, it's Dee from the Maitland Animal Management. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. What we're going to start doing is a little video at the end of every week to say it was the week that was, because I know it's really hard for me to blog with everything that's going on. So we thought, how are you going to know what's going on unless we tell you? So we're going to do the week that was. So just going to talk about what's happened and fill you in. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was that one of our girls that came in, Chaos, she actually came in heavily pregnant. We ended up tracking down the owner and she got surrendered. Little Chaos gave birth to 7 puppies the other day.
We were told it was only going to be 2.
We did. They were hiding in the ultrasound, little devils. We're like, 2's not bad. And then suddenly we got 7. We thought, oh, lucky us. Okay, here's her picture. It's also been incredibly hectic here. We have actually reached capacity several times. We ended up putting a post up online just to say we were at extreme capacity. What people didn't realise, we actually got to critical. And when I talk about critical capacity, I'm talking that we actually had more animals here than what we had in cages available. And as a pound, we've always got to function. And so the first thing that we do is we start doing behaviour assessments on the animals that are coming up. We're trying to source rescue groups to help us. We're trying to get them listed for adoptions because, you know, we always want to give them a fighting chance. And so we work very hard in trying to get these animals out. And it even means sometimes we have to go that extra step, and for that extra step is if we can find rescues that's far away. Sometimes rescue transport doesn't come through for two to 3 weeks. They might not be going back to that area for weeks at a time, and you can't wait that long. You just can't. Sometimes we can get 10 strays in a day. With 25 kennels, they just keep coming, so we've got to move quickly. Now recently I put the 2 girls in the van. Normally Don and myself always do the transport, but I actually did hurt my back and I couldn't go. But one of the things that we've been trying to do to help these animals is our Rescue Me project, and that is saying to rescue groups, because they get inundated with a number of pounds wanting those rescue groups to take their animals. So basically we're competing against other pounds to take their animals. So we created the Rescue Me project, and what that means is we can say to a rescue, if you will take this staffy, we will do all the vet work. It won't cost you anything. It'll be desexed, it'll be microchipped, it'll be vaccinated, it'll be flea and wormed, and we'll get that animal to you at no cost to you. So whatever you adopt that animal out, that money is going back into your rescue group to help you keep doing what you do. And we all need those rescue groups. So that's our Rescue Me project. And we recently ran a Rescue Me project for some of our animals, and they went up. So Leanne and Don did the hard yards because I couldn't go with my back, and we got 14 dogs out, which is amazing. And so here's a little pic of the animals that went up and the 2 girls in the van. One of the things that we often deal with at the facility is the amount of people that are contacting us to say, I need to surrender my animal. And a lot of it comes down that they've tried to help an animal, or they've wanted an animal in their life, and they've gone and got that animal, and they've never ever stopped to ask if they could have that animal. Did they have rental permission? Is their yard suitable? Can they actually have that animal in suburbia? So for example, at the moment, I have been working alongside our rangers to clean up a house that has a lot of chickens and a lot of roosters in suburbia. Chickens is not such a big deal, but roosters, you can just imagine the complaints that come in when that's all you hear is roosters. So I've been actually out with the rangers, including in the rain. I did get very sick after it because I got the flu really bad. And so you'll have a bit of a giggle at how I came back. I was covered in chicken poop, I was wet, I looked like a wet drowned rat. But we actually have so far, I think we've pulled about 42 chickens and roosters from this place. I will be going out again next week to do some more. We haven't even made a dent in it. So that's one case. The second case that happened this week is we had a pig come into the facility, and we do livestock here. So in came a little pig. She'd been running around suburbia, and we since found out that she lived in suburbia. The house got pulled down and she was left behind and then left with a friend. Anyway, the pig escaped, and obviously a pig in suburbia in a tiny backyard just doesn't work. So in came Holly, and very happy to say thank you to Jackie and Rory, who are friends of mine that have a farm. They've now taken her on and put her up into their sanctuary, and she's now known by the name of Wendy. So they have sent me a little video of Wendy all settled up. I'm a little bit upset because Jackie told me that she was going to block my number, and I went, no, I'm not blocking your number. And she said, have a nice life, Dee. Nice knowing you. You're blocked. And I'm like, no, on the car window. I will never be blocked. I'll ring you from 50 other numbers. Rory's like, it's okay, Dee, you call me. So anyway, our little pig girl has gone off to a new start.
And just on that, she has taken a few of our other animals.
She has.
Who have had a few issues and things. So I'm not surprised.
She has taken cats from me from my last pound at Erina, and she also took George, one of the kittens from here, that was the sibling to Shelby's cat, and they had the eye agenesis where they didn't have eyelids. So Jackie took on George,
who's now Tony.
Who is now Tony. Now Jackie and Rory, all of their animals have to have a human name. So hence Holly went to Wendy, George went to Tony. But they will never block me. So, you know, it's really important that if you do take on an animal, you actually choose that animal that is right for you, right for the conditions. Are you able to have that animal in suburbia? Is that animal going to be a nuisance to someone else? But more importantly, guys, do you have permission from your landlord? You know, because your heart is in the right place. You're taking these animals, but then all of a sudden they're displaced again. And that is half of the surrender request that we've got, is these people are facing eviction themselves now. So, you know, it's really important to assess everything. As much as your heart wants to do the right things, sometimes you're just putting yourself into more heartache. And you're actually doing that to the animal again, because they start to feel comfortable with you. They think, yep, this is my do-over. And then suddenly they find themselves displaced again. So it's really important to think about that. One of the things that we've also had is some changes at the facility, and recently council put in some new catteries for us, which actually are bigger, and they're actually air conditioned, because in summer we were using portable air cons. So the actual council have put in some new categories for us, which we're really excited about, because they're actually dual air cons. So during the day we were putting the air cons on cool for them, and at night we have one set up as warm. So you'll see the new categories that have arrived, and obviously I've had to do my thing and beautify them a little bit, because they're a little bit plain, but they never stay plain at this place. Everybody knows that we do our thing. So anyway, it's much bigger and the cats are loving it.
So this is our new cat enclosure. So we've got a playpen over here. We've got some crates set up. We've got hey buddy, good job. Got Kelly. Wilson. Hi Wall. Hi bud. And then we've got another playpen over here. So it's a little bit different to what we usually have, but this is our new setup.
Obviously we do a number of programs here. One of the things that we actually do is what we call a Freedom Buster. If you're not familiar with that, it is for people struggling to get their animals home. Most pounds have a lot of unclaimed strays because people can't afford to get their animals out. You know, sometimes these animals come in and the costing on the first day, minimum, if it's not registered and not desexed, is $334. And if it's more, if it's not microchipped. Most people are just doing it very tough these days. They're living week to week, and we get that. But thankfully, our program has never really let us down, because I think a lot of people resonate that animals are people's family. There's a lot of people out there that don't have children. Their pets are their children. And it doesn't mean that they're not good pet owners, because they are. We see these animals, they come in and you think, oh, that one needs to go to Jenny Craig. Or, you know, they come in with dog coats on and stuff. Things happen. Animals escape. It doesn't mean that we can't help people to get them home. And I think that's the good thing about us being a not-for-profit organisation, is that we are a charity. And so we run fundraisers to get these animals out. And just this month alone and last month, we've done quite a few Freedom Busters to get them home. And every one of those animals went home because of the kindness of people. We have some people that ring up and they donate. Every time there's a Freedom Buster, they donate $10. Some donate $20. Some donate $100. Some people say, I'll pay for the whole lot. It's amazing that people, when it really counts for some animals, we've got some wonderful supporters. So, you know, if you do see that Freedom Buster pop up, you can't miss the emblem. We'll put it up today. It looks like dogs in jail. And basically we always explain what we need to raise, what it makes up of, whether or not it's registration or impound fees and a microchip fee. And we also try and tell a little bit about the story of the people, because let's face it, people can be judgmental. And we never know what's going on in somebody else's life. You don't know what's going on in my life. I wouldn't even presume to know what someone else is going through. And sometimes when they're telling us these stories and I've got to put it together, sometimes I'm having to leave things out because that person is hiding from domestic violence, you know. These people are going through the worst thing. Someone is watching their father die in hospital, and while they're at hospital, their dog has escaped, you know. And you know, the first thing people's like, well, they should have kept their dog contained. You know, people don't actually understand that some people are going through some really, really tough times and really bad times at that time in their life. And so, you know, I always try to take that moment to understand what they're going through, but then it's my job to portray that to you so that you can actually, I suppose, not feel compassion, but sort of understand that, oh geez, they're really going through a hard time. They really need a helping hand. So that's part of my job as well, is to do those freedom busters. And you know, there's a lot of dogs, Jersey, Loki, Juno, they're just some of the dogs off the top of my head that went home because of really kind people. And so this is a big thank you from me, yet alone the owners, and those dogs are very grateful. Sadly, we've had some staff changes. Unfortunately, we lost our beautiful Shelby recently. She's not dead, don't worry.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, don't interrupt and say she's not dead.
She's not dead. Look, Shelby has gone on to do another venture, and it's sad for us because Shelby has always been part of the team, and you know, we will miss her greatly. So recently we advertised her position, and we had some great candidates come forward, and it made it really hard actually, because we had to trial a number of them. And one of the girls that actually got hired, her name is Mel, and unfortunately Mel's not with us at the moment. She does the morning shift, and we ended up hiring Mel. It was only after that we hired Mel that we realised that Mel was actually one of our adoption parents that recently adopted a cat from us called Christian. He was a blue cat, and she changed the name to Alfie. So small world that one of our adoption parents is now our latest staff member. While we were doing interviews, it became apparently clear that, you know, obviously you see I struggle to find time. I'm always time poor. And there's a lot of things that we have a lot of ideas, and we think, oh God, we want to get to that. And we just don't have the time, and Tani's the same.
Sorry, everybody.
We're doing the best we can, and we're thinking, you know what? One of the resumes that came through, some of the things that were on her resume, I'm like, some of the things that I want to get done here. So, meet Kirsty, everybody.
Come on in, Kirsty.
Come on, Kirsty. Kirsty is our second employee that has just come on board with us. Now, Kirsty's going to work 4 days a week, and she's actually going to do a number of things. Obviously, she's going to be still working with the animals, and also be doing some videos and some profiles with the animals in the afternoon. And you've been busy doing that this week, haven't you?
Very busy.
Yeah, so we've got a few videos to go up, so it'll probably look a little bit different for a little while we all get the hang of things. But yeah, Kirsty's going to be helping me out with some content as well.
Yes. So she'll be working side by side with Tani on contents and stuff like that. But she'll also be working on a couple of aspects that we want to get off the ground. And one is a fostering network. Obviously, you know, we're always at capacity lately. And the amount of people that are wanting to surrender their animals, and let's face it, some people are doing some silly things, and it's not the animal's fault. I think what's our foster list, what's our surrender list up to, Tanya?
We're almost about to hit 900.
900 since January. So, you know, obviously we want to help people. It's not like that we don't want to help people. It's just that capacity, we struggle. So one of the things we want to do is get a foster network off the ground, and Kirsty will actually be taking control of that. One of the other things is what is it that I want you to work on? Fundraising.
Yes, so we're going to do some fundraising. I'm going to go out and about and start talking to some local businesses. Just trying to get some more money through the doors.
So if we can get some more money through the doors, whether or not it's sponsoring an animal and stuff, and it, you know, if we can get some businesses behind us, there's a lot of things that we can do with some extra money. You know, helping people that are struggling, that, you know, our problem households that constantly their animals are breeding. We want to get in and de-sex those animals and stop the vicious cycle. We want to be able to say to rescue groups with the Rescue Me project, like, okay, we need to raise some money to get all this vet work done. At the moment, we've got a cat out there called Mr. G, and he's a beautiful boy that's come in. He was feral when he came in, and now there's about 4 or 5 people that are touching that cat. Recently we saw him starting to dribble, and we were able to look in his mouth. Not bad for a feral cat that we've been able to look in his mouth. And his gums were horrendously inflamed. We recently got him over to our vet at Motto Farm to have a look, and they sedated him. That poor boy needs to virtually have nearly every teeth pulled. He has really bad teeth, to the point that his gums are inflamed and they're filled with pus. Now, we've been given a quote of between $1,500 to $2,000. It's extensive work that he needs. It's not a quick job. It's going to be a long process. He's got a long road recovery, but you look at how far he's come. That cat is worthy of a new life, just like every other animal out there. Whether or not it's a dog or a cat, these animals deserve not to be in pain. And whether or not we're doing a fundraising for Mr. G to get those painful teeth out. Have you ever gone through painful teeth and you can't eat? It is horrendous. You are popping tablets. You are feeling so sad you can't eat. That's what he's going through. No animal deserves to be in pain. Whether or not you're a cat lover or a dog lover, no animal deserves to be in pain. But for us, who's a small rescue, $2,000 is a lot of money. And that's where we want to have a fundraising team to help us with cases like that. Cases like Bear that came in such poor condition that we had to take him to the vets to get vet work done to take that pain away was $400. You know what I mean? You know, every animal deserves a second chance in life, and they certainly don't deserve to be in pain. And so it's really imperative that we have some money coming in the doors, and I can't do it alone, and that's where Kirsty has come on board. So welcome to my new guys, Mel and Kirsty, and I hope that you'll welcome them to our family just like we have. So, ending virtually nearly on a happy note, we've done in the last 2 weeks some amazing adoptions. Now, every pound is actually struggling at the moment. Not much is actually getting adopted. More animals come in than they do go out. We have been very, very blessed that we have seen quite a few of our animals get adopted. So, excuse me for reading from the list because there's been a few. So in adoption wise, we saw Bella the Yorkie find a new home, Lady, our little Foxy, Molly, our little Staffy Cross Cattle, Kira, our Dalmatian, Jilly, our Beagle, Coco, our little Kelpie pup, Rubble,
Here's a snag.
was
Sausage.
our little Snag, Pepper, a little Staffy, Macy, a little Maltese Cross Dachshund. I know your mind boggles with that one, doesn't it? Cat wise, we saw Kit Kat go to her new home. Reese's Pieces, he went to his new home. Possum, a long-termer, has finally found her home, and we're very, very excited about that. Beautiful girl, just was a little bit shy, but someone saw through that, and that's amazing. And of course, our Tootsie Roll got adopted. So some great adoptions there. We're very grateful that we have people actually come to us and consider us for adoption, especially when there's so many choices these days. So some great adoptions there, and we're happy about that. Okay guys, that's about the wrap up for the last week or two.
Hold on, Dee. Hold on. We've had a few extra moments. So we've had, what's a few of our funny moments that we've had this week?
funny moments.
Yep. Like the rooster.
Okay, alrighty. So, obviously, in our rooster and chicken catching, we had a rooster here, and we still have him actually. He's only yay big, but he's really quick. So, as soon as you open that lid to put his food and water in, if you're not quick, he flies out. And so, when the rescue came to pick up all the chickens and roosters, because we got them out to rescues, two of the roosters got away from them, and we were sitting here one day and Leanne said, one of the roosters is down the back, and I said, okay, let's get the net. So here we are, we're creeping down, trying to not look conspicuous with a net each, and Leanne goes, I'll go this way, and I said, okay, I'll go this way, and we'll box them in. Anyway, I'm creeping over, no rooster. Leanne's like, where's the rooster? I said, it's got to be under one of the cars. And so we ducked down. Out of nowhere, the rooster flew, picked me in the forehead, and then took off. I stood there like a stunned mullet, like, what just happened? And then it occurred to me he was trying to get back over the fence. And I'm like, let's go! Lucky it had been raining and he couldn't get his flapping up. And then you just see me dive bomb on this rooster that pecked away at me and got me in the arm. But thankfully I got that on the arm and not one on the middle of the forehead, because I would have looked like I had one of those, are they a bindi, what they call them? Right in the forehead he got me. I was just like, bonk. I'm so glad that's not on camera. So I guess that would possibly...
That might have been something. Yeah. What about when you were in with Polly and Mr. Walt was in there? What was Mr. Walt doing?
So I've been trying to work with some of our scared cats. Obviously Pat and Sue do. They do amazing work with the cats. But Polly is one of our feral girls, and she got really, really sick and she nearly died. And one of the things that I did when she was really sick is I force fed her, and I really looked after her. And so I've been able to do a lot with her, and so I still go up to the cattery in the morning and have a cuddle with her and everything. So while I'm working with Polly and I've got her in my arms, I just happened to look over, something was catching my eyes. Somebody was trying to get my attention. And that would be Walt. Walt is one of our stray cats who is a bit of a character, and he's named after Walt Disney. Brioni's named him Walt because he had a Walt Disney collar on. There's the cat laying on his back doing backstroke, trying to get my attention. Meow, meow. And then I sort of just like, is he really trying to swim? And he's then became a pole dancer and pulled himself up with the cage until he was on his hind legs. I nearly dropped poor Polly.
Unfortunately, we don't have footage of this, though.
Just trust me, it was funny. That boy is a character. So that'd probably be my funniest moment there.
Was there anything, so we've got funny, was there anything on the flip side that made you a little bit sad?
A couple of things probably come to mind. The first one was trying to help an owner with his situation with the rangers, and unfortunately he turned on me and threw things at me, was yelling so much that he was literally spitting on me, and then he punched the gate, which scared Janine. Janine was starting to run around, start locking gates and stuff like that. I knew I could calm him down, but I think it was a little bit frightening. I don't scare easily, but I could see that Janine was very, very distraught in the office, and she was locking things and trying to run ahead and get things locked down.
Well, she has been assaulted previously
Janine
as well.
Janine has been assaulted twice in this job, so I think it may have caused a little bit of a trigger for her. So that's really sad for me that someone we understand it's emotional, that they're dealing with their babies, and he turned from 0 to 100. But in that aspect, it traumatized Janine. It really scared her. I felt that I could control the situation, but my sadness is seeing what she went through in that blink of an eye. So in that instant, I was trying to calm him down, but I could see the emotion running through her face. Was she going to get assaulted again and stuff like that? And it may have been that she was concerned for me getting assaulted, and then, what do I do? So that was one instant. The other instant came for me was an animal came in pretty poor condition, and you will see that video. The owner, I asked the owner to come down and help me because he came in on a catch pole. He's quite aggressive, and I asked the owner if he could come down and help me because we needed to look at that animal, because there was reports that he'd been hit by a car. And the owner said, no, I can't get near him either. Haven't been able to get near him for a while, can't get into my own backyard. So he opted to surrender the dog for euthanasia, tick the box. It was my job to take that dog to the vet for euthanasia. And on the journey, I looked at this dog and I thought, you've got no fur, you're riddled with fleas, you've got puncture wounds in your neck that are pussy, and now your life is over. Holding him on that pole, I don't care if I get bit, I'm going to show that dog some love. So I put my hand on his bottom and I said to him, it's going to be okay, mate, it's all right. And I kept thinking to myself, I was screaming at myself in my own mind, you are a liar, it is not okay at all. And then all of a sudden that dog whipped around and he sat at my foot. And I thought, no, you are not taking the easy way out for this animal. So when I got to the vet, I said to them, here's the dog. And they said, yep, we're just getting things ready. I said, no, you're not. I would like the dog treated. They said, oh, it's booked in for euthanasia. I said, I know what the dog is booked in for, and it's not happening. The dog was surrendered to me. I need you to look at him. I was able to put a muzzle on that dog and sat there and I cuddled that dog. The vet was able to take a skin scraping from that dog. We gave him injections through painful skin condition. And he said that dog is in a lot of pain. Now that skin scraping showed that he had mites living underneath the lumps on his body. And I thought, you know what? How sad is that somebody wants to take the easy way out? And it nearly happened to that poor dog. But you know what? I'm never about taking the easy way out. But it broke my heart. So that would probably want to be one of the moments that nearly ended badly. If you want to know what I am, I'm stubborn. And I will always do my best to get to the truth. And the truth is that dog deserved a chance. And he got it.
Sorry guys, next time we're going to start with the sad and then we're going to end on a high note. I was just watching that being like, oh, we should have done this the other way around.
And Don's making faces through the window. But yeah, that's my week, guys. The staff, I'm very blessed. I've got a tremendous team behind me and we've got wonderful supporters, and I just want to say thanks for following our journey Our journey's not easy. We know that. You know that. You've seen it. But each week, you're going to start getting to see a little bit more.